Right. I hate doing intros, but whatever. Hey, welcome to 15th, 16th episode, actually, this is, of Stupid Podcast. I got Henry along with me.
Oh boy, hello everybody. It's been a while. Back at you again. It in Canada. It's been snowing like crazy, and yeah, I'm here to look at your stuff and talk on the podcast. It's gonna be good.
It
Thanks for
never,
coming.
it never snows in the UK. It's so sad.
Oh, trust me, snow can be a butt. Like it can be really painful to deal with.
You know what I find funny, though? In the 20th century, there were only 7 years in the 20th century where it snowed in the UK.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how
That
little it
is
snows here. Seven
trivia.
times in a century.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Seven. Wow. That seems like something that I would see in like a an episode of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like, how many times did it snow? Um,
Alright,
but
anyway,
yeah,
let's get on to these questions then. Alright, so, we got a few silly ones, so we'll start off with the silly ones first.
fantastic.
Alright, so the first one we're starting off with is by Tyler Simonson. His Twitter handle
I'm reading it right now.
is at might be Jewish, and he asks, why do the cats in the movie Cats 2019 not have genitals? Who stole their dicks? Why does Rebel Wilson's cat scratch her non existent crotch for 10 seconds straight? Why has God abandoned us?
All right, so Tyler, my boy, good buddy of mine. Uh, so to answer your question, why do not have genitals? I'm assuming it is because there are laws. There are laws, Tyler. And I am assuming the animation studio does not want to fully render cat pubes. Who stole their dicks? That's an excellent question. Ask the animation studio. Maybe you know, tweet at them. Uh, why does Rebel Wilson's cat scratch your non-existent crotch for 10 seconds straight? That's an excellent question. I don't know. Why has God abandoned us? I ask that question every day. So
I haven't seen the
I
movie, so I can't comment.
I have not seen the movie either. I was planning on it, sort of half jokingly, but then instead I hung out with people and watched Emperor's New Groove at
Nice.
their house. So, monumentally better film. I highly recommend you watch that instead of spending your money on a movie that is now losing $70 million.
Yeah.
So
Emperor's New Groove, that's great.
a true classic of the genre.
Yeah. But yeah, cats. Um, I I I don't want to talk about it. It's based on the musical Cats, obviously, which is just a terrible musical, to be honest.
he's he's throwing punches out here.
I don't know why they decided to make the movie, like this. Um, what the thing is though, like with the whole like direction of, technically speaking, just on like a CGI level, technically speaking, there's nothing wrong with the CGI, but it's just aesthetically talking. Why would you design them that way?
hmm You can be a good artist and still produce art that is not aesthetically pleasing, right? So it's like
Yeah,
it's the CGI from what I've heard is just fine, but the
it's fine.
way they did it was just very uncanny valley, very disjointed. So
Yeah.
I'm almost tempted to go see it still as just sort of like some almost like a study. Less watching it like a movie and more so just experiencing it, you know. Um,
Yeah.
but thank you for the question, Tyler.
What?
At might be Jewish. Go check him out. He's a funny guy and he's a waterbender. He's a It's a little inside joke, but he's a goddamn waterbender. So go follow him.
What I do find funny though about Cats is that my friends who have seen it, well, they partially saw it. They said they walked out during it, and the thing is, they said it's their first time they've walked out in the cinema.
Wow, really that bad?
Yeah,
Holy shit. I've I can't I don't think I've ever walked out of a film.
I never
The only
have.
one Yeah, the only one that I almost walked out of was Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Now, fantastic film. I absolutely love the Hellboy franchise. I love Hellboy. I love Hellboy.
Yeah,
Before, I love Hellboy. Love Ron Perlman. I love all the actors. I love everything about it. And honestly, they need to make more Hellboy movies with Ron Perlman. But that's
yeah.
just me. But when we were watching it, whoever was kind of manning the camera or whatever the device is called,
Projector.
the projector. Why did I not think of that word? What is happening? But the projector was moved, so half of the movie was being projected onto the ceiling.
Oh,
Um, so we got free refunds at least. But I sat through most of the movie, just watching half of it on the ceiling. So
fair enough.
yeah.
I love those movies though.
Oh, they're so good. I could watch them literally any day. Like, just everything about it is so good. But yeah, I think that's Tyler's question out of the way. Lot of unanswered questions, but you know what? I think that's the cats in a nutshell. Just a mishmash of unanswered questions. A lot of mystery behind that.
All right. So, next question comes from. Well, thank you, Tyler, for the question. Anyway, next question comes from Irish Meme Game Guy Boy.
Assassin Wolf 73.
Yes.
I'm
This is
aware of your existence.
this is the same guy who said he was scared of me because of the stuff I retweet, and he thought his parents were getting banned off Twitter.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Thanks for the deep lore.
yeah. There's a deep backstory behind this, you know.
The cinematic universe, it's all coming together. Um,
Anyway, this one is a weird question. Important stages of a child's life from when they are born until they're 18 and how they define them. In case you're wondering, I just watched Inside Out. That makes sense, but I can't answer this question because I'm not 18 yet.
I've actually taken a few classes in psychology, so this is kind of my shit.
I'll let
But
him do it then.
I'm not gonna get into it, but basically it's essentially the entire time, you're learning from your surroundings. You go through the different phases. I'm not gonna name off every single one, but yeah,
Puberty.
'cause I'm gonna get a lot of get a lot of giggles. But basically it's a very important thing. Um, your brain is always developing until, I believe, for males it's 20. I want to say 26.
25.
Your brain is always 25, but your brain is always developing. You're always learning. You're going through these different stages. You're learning, with your nose, your eyes, your hands, and you're learning about the different parts of your environment and your body and stuff. So it's this is a very difficult question, and this is something that would require like a documentary to answer.
I can't even answer
And I'm
this.
not I'm not exactly at liberty to say because I've only taken a few psychology classes, but um I mean, I would argue probably one of the most important phases of a child's life is probably puberty because it's transitioning to a adult, but let's not get into that.
Yeah,
And
I can't answer this question because I'm not
what a
18 yet.
what an interesting question, but fantastic, thank you.
Maybe
Um,
I'll ask that question later this year because I'll be 18 later this year, but I can't answer
oh, there
this.
we go.
No, I always find it funny. Speaking of which, I always find it funny when people like find out I'm like 17 because they think I'm much older.
Yeah, you carry yourself well and you speak
Hey,
very clearly, and I would say you're 20, 21 maybe. There's just the way you talk and everything. It's very intellectual.
thank you.
You sound like a Discord moderator. You know what
Well, there was one person who thought I was in my 30s.
Mhm.
Yeah,
People have mistook me for being a couple years older than I actually am, which is fair. But yeah.
yeah. Anyway, hopefully that answers your question.
hmm
All right. He
And
also
on to the stupid one.
yeah, because he likes to ask serious and stupid questions. He always does it with everything. All right. So, the best amount of pubic hair to have.
Okay, I see this. I see this podcast is definitely not going down the drain. I'm joking. I'm joking.
All
The
I'll
amount of
say is that I'm not a big fan of it. That's all I'll say.
All I'll say is it is up to the individual to decide. That is my answer.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Just
moving
taking
on.
big sips out of my coffee here. Um,
All right, now we're
let's
into the
see.
serious ones, I think.
Mm.
All right.
Oh, I'm seeing some good. I'm seeing some really good questions. Oof,
All
this
right.
is. I'm gonna require pulling out my Steam library here.
All right. So, next one comes from Bouncy Bull Studios and he asks, "What is your prerequisites for 100%ing a game if it's really good?"
Do you want to answer or do you want me to go?
Well, I guess I'll answer. When it depends on the content that's in it, because there might be a lot of content in a game, but if none of it's really all that entertaining, I might just be like, nah, I'm not 100% in the game. There's only a few games I have 100%ed. I think the last game I did 100% of was Spider-Man PS4.
Oh my
Um,
gosh! Wow, impressive.
yeah, because like pretty much all the content in that game is really fun. It's a really great game. Like, by the way, anyone who's watching this who haven't played it, go out and play it. It's really good. Um, but yeah, it was just a case of like that game was so much fun, and like all the collectibles and unlockables in it are so much fun that I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna 100% the game because why not?
That's fair.
I still haven't 100% of GTA 5 yet because I don't find a lot of the content in that game interesting.
It is a big game. Both are very large games, so I don't blame you.
Yeah. Plus, everyone knows my dislike of Rockstar games.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Max
Each
Payne
their
3, God damn it.
own. I'll never hear the end of that.
What's funny is that
Um,
that video will turn a year old just next month.
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. For me, to answer your question, Bouncy Ball Studios, my prerequisite for 100%ing a game really is it's similar to Mr. No Life's answer. It's really depending on how I feel about the game. I think some fantastic examples would be the two games that I've played in both 2019 was Jedi Fallen Order and Hollow Knight.
Oh, of
So for
course.
Hollow Knight, I've been playing since I won't shut the fuck up about Hollow Knight. I love it
I
so much.
haven't installed on
But
my computer. I just haven't got around to playing it yet.
it is genuinely one of the best games I have ever played in my entire life, and it's one of those games that if I have kids, I will request that they at least give it a shot when they're my age because it's not a game for kids. The art style is very cutesy, but there's a lot of stuff that will go over a kid's head if they play it, and it is difficult as fuck, really. Later on in the game, it is tough as nails. A lot of the really difficult stuff, like the keyboard smashing stuff, is optional.
Right.
So, yeah, but kind of going off on a tangent here, but um, for me, Jedi Fallen Order, I completed the main storyline and then I replayed a little bit to get some extra collectibles and stuff. But there was very little incentive apart from just discovery of a few things. Like I explored probably about 75 to 90% of each map. And once I had that, I didn't feel like there was that much more to see. I feel like a lot of the really important stuff is quite easy to access, and then the really difficult stuff is the really difficult to get stuff is usually just skins for your poncho or a different color for your lightsaber hilt. And by that point that I was near the end of the game, I had pretty much everything I wanted for my character customization. There's quite a lot of character customization. I'm not saying that there isn't, because um, there's not so much character, like physical character customization, but the lightsaber customization is quite insane. You can customize just about any part of your lightsaber, including color, hilts, like switches and handles and all that jazz. So it really is fantastic in that regard. But by the time that I finished the game, I probably had an insane amount of customization already, and there was very little incentive to grab more, especially when I was near the end of the game, near the end of the story. I was about to fight the final boss. There was no real reason. Once I've seen all the bosses, I've seen I've seen all the secret enemies and all that. There was very little reason to continue. So I completed the game and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Jedi Fallen Order. It's one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played, and just it's up there in my list of games. Just in general, I highly recommend playing it, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. There's a lot of references to original trilogy and prequel trilogy and Clone Wars content, so definitely check it out if you're a fan of any of that. But kind of going back onto the whole thing, there wasn't a whole lot of incentive for me to search. But with Hollow Knight, it its quality with its level design is so in depth that every single room I felt like it needed to be searched. Not only was there just an insane amount of items you can collect, um, all of them have uses, with the exception of the money. But of course, the money gets you other items. Every single item you collect in that game has some sort of use, and some of it is small, but you can make you can get these charms, and these charms are like kits. They're like little abilities, and the more you collect, the more you can mix and match, and you can make it to your playstyle. So, and the game is always designed to where if you're having trouble with a boss, you don't have to stay in that area. You can, most of the time, you can just leave that area and go search around for a little while, collect some new upgrades, collect some new items, maybe an item that will spawn in little minions for you to fight for you, that sort of thing. It really rewards exploration. Jedi Fallen Order rewards exploration with just, for the most part, just cosmetics with the occasional secret boss. But Hollow Knight, in every room there's something. Quite literally there is something in every room, be it an enemy, a collectible, a piece of lore. There is something for everybody in that game to search for. There's a dossier of every single creature in the game that you can find, and there's charms that you can collect that give you abilities. There's weapon upgrades. There's new abilities like dashes and double jumps and wall climbing, um, and keys to open new doors to explore new areas. And every single area is just beautiful. So you're never, even if the room is empty, which it is a very rare case, even if the room is empty, there is something there that makes you glad you came to that room. Be it a small piece of lore or something in the background, a beautiful landscape, or it's just a beautiful game. Just fucking play it. Like, it's just a great game. Basically, my point is, Hollow Knight just rewards exploration in so many ways that there is no way that you as a player will be disappointed in what you find, because there's so many different things you could find. Fallen Order is just cosmetics with the occasional boss. So people who really like secret bosses, you'll find a handful of those. Cool, fantastic. And if you like cosmetics, fantastic, great. If you like customizing a lightsaber, even better. Hollow Knight has everything except for customization. You can't change the look of your character, but you can change quite literally everything else. Your abilities, your health, your kit, like everything. So it's it just you'll find something for everybody in that game, really. So the game isn't for everybody, but there's something for everybody in that game, in my opinion. So to answer your question, I like going on really long tangents, but to answer your question for the whole, um, my prerequisite for 100%ing a game, it has to be worth it. It has to be worth my time to grind. It has to feel rewarding. It has to it has to have purpose for me to do it. If I'm just playing the game for the sake of getting that 100%, it's not worth my time. When I was a kid, I used to always want to just beat every single game as much as I can. But now that I'm working 5 hours a week, I have 5 hours a week, 5 days a week. I'm working 5 days a week. You know, I've got all these different hobbies. I'm doing voice acting as a paid hobby, and I've got all these other things. So my time is um a lot more precious now that I am an adult as opposed to being a kid. And Hollow Knight genuinely was worth every hour of my time because if I wanted to try out a new kit, like a new strategy, like, oh, maybe this time around I'm gonna rely more on minion attacks than myself attacking the boss. There's like 3 or 4 different charms that you can get for that. If I wanted to, get find new enemies, there's quite literally over 160 enemies in that game, so you will never not be disappointed with the enemy roster. Um, and if you're a guy who loves bosses, there's so many bosses in that game. And if you're just someone who loves music, there is a beautiful soundtrack. Um, if you just love exploration, the map is massive and none of it feels wasted. Every inch of the map is filled with something new, but it is never overwhelming. It is just right. I am always discovering something new when I'm playing the game. Every single time I sit down and play that game, I'm finding something new. Be it a piece of lore, a new enemy, a new character, a new weapon, a new charm, a new part of the map. It's just everything different for everything. So the reason it was worth my time is just because there's so much to do, but I never felt like it was too much, but at the same time, it was just enough. It didn't there was no filler. It was filled with quality. It was quality mixed into one. So it was worth every hour of mine is huge. To get 100%, it took, I think it was like 60 hours or something, like a full playthrough of hours. Granted, I didn't look up any spoilers, so I did do a lot of backtracking trying to figure out what to do, but it was like a 60-hour playthrough or something to get 100%. Um, and even when you get 100%, there's still another 12% that you can do. You the game goes to 100. So it's insane. It's just a fantastic game. I just love it so much. So that's a great example for me. It's just a game has to have its purpose. It has to be worth my time and my effort. And then when I complete the game, it has to be worth it. That 100% has to have some sort of worth to me, be it that I had a fun time or that it rewards you or just in general, it has to be worth its time. But yeah, that's my very long and confusing answer. Bouncy Ball Studios. Thank you for the. All right, that was a long fucking thing. But yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I agree. I was actually thinking about the entire time, just like saying, like, "Oh, Henry, the audio cut out. You mind saying that again?"
Oh my God, that I would. Oh, I would cry.
Yeah, but
But
nah, it's fine.
yeah.
But yeah, pretty much. I agree with everything there. I still need to play Hollow Knight. I have it installed. It's on my Steam. Like I have it installed. I just haven't played it yet.
I genuinely think, like, okay, when I buy Hollow Knight for people, like, I went through a phase where I just bought Hollow Knight for people, just because I loved it so much. But they either said it was great or just okay, and it was always for the same reason. Like, everybody liked it because there was something that they liked, or it was just okay because they had a lot of trouble with it. It is not an easy game. It really is strange though because I knew how difficult it was coming in, and when you first start out, it's easy, and then it gets gets gradually difficult to the point of where it's like tough as nails. And like I recorded myself when I first started playing the game. I have about an hour uh of footage of me when I first played out when the game first came out in like 2017 or something like that.
Hmm.
And I compared it to footage of me 2 years later in 2019. Um, and it's night and day. Just how different I play. Like my reflexes have changed so much. Like looking like if I compare the two footage of me playing in 2017 versus me playing in 2019, I am so much better now. Like I don't want to flex, but I am so much better now. And that game has really helped me with like Dark Souls and Jedi Fallen Order and a bunch of other games. Like my reflexes are so much better now with video games. Um Hollow Knight was just a huge breakthrough for me with like skill and like how I prioritize my thinking. That game, especially the optional bosses, really push you to your limit. Like I used to stream that game, and I want to stream it again, but I'm just on a break because I'm trying to beat this one optional event, and it's tough as nails. It's so difficult, so I'm taking a break from streaming. But it's um, it's just so good. I just it's such a good game. Please just play it. I totally lost my train of thought, but it's such a good goddamn game. I can't get enough of it. It's improved my reflexes and my quick thinking skills hugely. And it was funny because when I was playing that game, just as I beat that game, I was actually writing a report for my university on the effects of video games. And I used my footage as an example, which was a perfect timing. And it's been proven that video games, you know, even as something like a first-person shooter, does help with people's quick thinking skills and reflexes. This has been proven by many universities, and it's backed up by psychologists and all that jazz. So it's it's really crazy because I've compared with other games as well. It's Hollow Knight has really helped with my quick thinking and reflexes. So I definitely give it a shot. It's not easy, but what I'm saying is you'll get there. If you play it enough, you'll get better and better and better, but the enemies will get tougher, and when you beat that game, you're gonna feel like God. It is so fun. But that's enough of me talking about that game for today.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Very
good answer.
passionate.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question. This comes from Crusader on the mic, and he asks, best games of 2019.
All right.
Right, this one's going to be pretty easy for me. Because my game of the year, I've said for a while, my game of the year of 2019 was My Friend Pedro. God damn it, that game is awesome. Love it.
I
Uh,
gotcha.
yeah. What would be one of your favorites?
Um, so many games came out in 2019. It's really hard to keep track. Um, but if I had to choose the one game that came out in 2019 that really stuck with me, and I'm sure there's other ones that are just totally flying over my head right now, but it's Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order was pretty fantastic. It came out in 2019, and it was um it was really good. It's just filled to the brim with polish. The combat system is very diverse. There's so much that you can do. Um, like I was kind of shitting on it for its physical customization of your actual character, but the stuff you can do in that game with combat makes you feel like an actual Jedi. The lightsaber combat is amazing. Like it's very cinematic, but it feels like a video game. Like, but when I was like watching somebody else play it over the shoulder, it was like watching a film. Just the lightsabers clash so perfectly. Like when an enemy blocks your attack, it's not just like a boring block. It's like the two lightsabers are clashing and grinding against each other, and it's really good. And I'm actually working on like not a review, but sort of like uh, like a dunk view, I guess the best way I could explain it would be just kind of like a bunch of memes, but then I kind of occasionally give my opinion on something. Um, and that's a video that I'm working on. And one of the things that I mention is that there's this one boss where his boss music isn't it's good, but it's not the best. And if you play Duel of the Fates instead, over everybody knows Duel of the Fates, the Star Wars song episode 1. If you play that while you're doing the boss fight and you just disable your HUD completely, and it just looks like it's out of a movie. Like it's so cinematic, the battle. Um
Yeah.
it's the way that they did the combat system is really fantastic. There's so many enemies and they all have different fighting styles and different types, and you got to look out for their specific attacks and stuff. And early on in the game you're very limited, but it's for a good reason. It's so that you learn the core fundamentals. But then later on you can do all kinds of stuff. You can throw your lightsaber, you can force push, force pull. um you can split your lightsaber in half and do super powerful attacks, or rely on a single bladed lightsaber for heavy but semi quick attacks, or you can use a double bladed lightsaber for even quicker attacks, but it leaves you more exposed. um it's it's really good. It's a good game. I really like it. There's
All
so
right.
much you can do in that game. You can be really creative with how you approach a enemy platoon.
But I can
um
name a game that came out in 2019 and had even better combat than that.
oh yeah.
Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, I have yet to play Devil May Cry. Actually,
What?
I know a lot of people have told me to play it, and it's on my to-do list, but
Avoid the
I've
second
yet to
game.
play it. Really?
The second game is memed for how crap it is.
Oh boy.
Okay, yeah, anyway, Devil May Cry 5 is so awesome. I'm so happy the series came back after the reboot, and I'm just happy we got to see all the characters again. I'm happy the combat is probably the best in the entire series. I like when it was revealed at E3 2018, I hit the floor. I was like, "Holy shit, Devil May Cry's back." I was so happy to see the series return.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And Dante's back. We wanted him in Smash, but he didn't get into Smash.
Oh boy, I'm not even gonna get into the new Smash character. I mean, they're doing it a little bit better, because I heard he does the different, he uses his different weapons and stuff, so he's not just a sword fighter, but still, still, it's the eighth Fire Emblem character. That's my opinion. I don't know. It's great that they're adding in new characters. It's fantastic, but
We want Dante.
uh,
We want Dante. We want
I
Dante.
I feel like there's better. Yeah, like here's my opinion on the Smash roster. Here's who I would want. Like if I could choose whoever I wanted. There's six coming, I believe. I
Yeah.
can't think of six characters off the top of my head, but it would
Dante.
probably be. Hmm. I'm thinking. It would be. Gonna take a big sip of my coffee and think about this. Hang on. Gotta get the brain juices flowing.
The
Oh,
scout from
okay.
Team Fortress 2.
For me, it would be actually, it would be the heavy from Team Fortress 2 for me. The heavy, I feel like he would be a really interesting character. Then bit of an obscure choice, but Turok, from Turok for the N64, but also the Turok franchise. For people who don't know what that is, it it was a comic book series for a little while, and then it got a video game for the N64, and it was one of the best-selling N64 titles ever.
Hmm.
But it just kind of fell under the radar after that, because I guess they just didn't market the franchise very well or something. But people have no idea that there's actually like five Turok games. One of
Yeah.
them being a reboot, and the reboot is terrible. I highly recommend you never play it in your entire life. But Turok is a weird, very obscure character and a very obscure franchise, but it's a classic N64 thing. So it would be very cult classicy, sort of like King K. Rool being in Smash, but almost more obscure. So that I would choose him because I really like the Turok franchise. I played a little bit of every single game, so and
Yeah.
it was actually the first person shooter that I've ever played, Turok, so he kind of sits well with me. And then it would be the Knight from Hollow Knight would be my third pick. And let's see. Well, obviously Master Chief. Master Chief, he's Master Chief. But I would say Doom Guy, also known as the Slayer. I would put him over Chief. And whenever I say this, people are like, "Oh, but Henry, you're such a big Halo guy." My main reason is Quake and Doom almost single-handedly set the stage for like classic first-person shooters as we know it.
Yeah.
So I feel like Doom is more deserving of a spot than
Hmm.
Halo because Halo did set the stage for modern first-person shooters, but Doom and Quake and like Unreal Tournament and all that stuff really uh, set that. Well, there were the precursors to that. So I feel like
Yeah.
Doom would be a really nice thing. And Doom is, they've got a new game coming out in a month, literally, pretty much.
Well, 2 months.
Well, 2 months. Yeah, it's more so 2 months than a month. Yeah, it's like what I want to say 50 something days. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
um, yeah, Doom Guy. I have a spot for one more character. It would probably be maybe like I haven't played the game. I haven't played either of these games, but it would either be like 2B or Dante. I just feel like they're
have you,
very popular.
you've not
But
played
yeah,
Nier Automata, right? That's it,
I
Henry.
have
I'm
had
going to go
multiple
ballistic.
play it, and I have yet to play it. It has been on my list for literally years, and every opportunity that I have had to play it, uh, I just have not had the time. I have not had the opportunity. Like I receive an opportunity to play it, and then I go, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then for whatever reason that opportunity disappears, and I'm like, oh great, and then I get like another game or something, or somebody wants to play a game with me, and then I play with them instead.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to friggin' Nier Automata has been on my list for so long, and I keep seeing stuff about it, and I keep going, oh yeah, I really need to play that, and I've been avoiding spoilers completely for. It's been out for what, almost 3 years now, and I've been
Almost,
avoiding
yeah.
it. I've been avoiding it completely. Uh, like I've listened to the soundtrack, which is fucking fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, and the character design is really good and everything, and the
It's Platinum
world
Games. They made Bayonetta.
exactly. So it's fantastic. It's great. But I've been avoiding spoilers because there is gonna be a day, and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna play through it. It's one of those games that I don't want to just kind of wing it. I really want to dedicate a good chunk of time to it. Like if I have a week off, that's when I'm like, okay, 2B time.
All right.
And that's when I'm gonna play it. But yeah, it's on the list. But that's my Smash tier list. Kind of
Yeah.
unrelated, but I thought that would be an interesting thing to bring up.
Actually,
But
fun
yeah.
fact, you speak of the Nier Automata soundtrack. Did you know that actually, with the main theme, the singer for the main theme cried while they were singing it?
Aw, wow.
Yeah, it was that
I don't blame
powerful
them.
that they cried what the entire way through it.
I don't freaking blame them. It's a beautiful soundtrack. Come on.
They were originally going to stop her, stop the whole thing because she started crying, but in the end they thought, nah, fuck it, let's just wing it. And yeah, it's like one
Well,
of the best music in video game.
wow. That's power. That's some powerful stuff. Holy shit.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back on subject. Yeah, Devil May Cry. I love Devil May Cry. Apart from the second game.
I've heard it's like really funny too, so I'm looking forward to it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really get as funny as most people describe it until the third game, but like, I don't know. Like the thing is with
Okay.
the second game you don't even really need to play it anymore because when the fifth game came out, they retconned the timeline to the point
Oh.
where this, yeah, like okay, so quick thing with Devil May Cry, okay, so Devil May Cry 2 was a big piece of shit. And basically it fucked up the entire story for the series to the point where they could only make prequels from that point on. So Devil May Cry 3 is a prequel to the first game, and then Devil May Cry 4 is a prequel to the second game. And
Oh
then
my
when
God.
and then when Devil May Cry 5 came out, they were like, "Nah, screw it. Let's make Devil May Cry 4 a sequel to the second game." Yeah, they retcon the timeline so that the prequel is now the sequel.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't even need to play the second game anymore because they basically retconned it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that'd be my recommendation. Just skip the second game altogether. It's bad. I was just playing it a few days ago. It's really bad.
Wow, that bad.
No, no, it's
Jeez.
unbalanced to the point of being completely broken. Like, There's a really good video about it by what's his name? It's a video titled "Real Video Gamers Don't Skip Devil May Cry 2," and it's basically just him showcasing why the game is a big piece of shit. It's
Okay,
really
I'll keep that in mind.
yeah. Just skip the second game. Just skip it. Anyway, yeah, Devil May Cry 5, great game, 2019. Love it. Love that it's back. Anyway, yeah. It's whatever great games came out 2019. Control, by Remedy Entertainment.
Oh yeah?
That was terrific. I love it. Because I love Remedy, as everyone knows, Max Payne and Alan Wake. This one was a great comeback for them after Quantum Break, which I was disappointed by, and I was really happy with it.
Okay.
Speaking of the soundtrack, though, I love that they got Poets of the Fall, who did music for Remedy's games previously. They got them back to do a new song in this game called "Take Control," and it's really awesome. It plays during the best sequence in the game, which is called the Ashtray Maze, which I won't spoil it for anyone who's not played the game, but it's literally worth the price of the game just for the one sequence, the Ashtray Maze.
There's
It's
always a game that has like an amazing segment that has
yeah.
just bumping music, and people like in the YouTube comments of that soundtrack will be like referencing it and everything.
Oh,
But
it the Ashtray Maze in Control. It's like that. Like, the game is worth it just for that one sequence alone. It's like one of the coolest sequences in a video game. Period. And the music is dynamic as well. So like if like in the midst of combat, if it's getting more intense, the music will get more intense. If it's like calming down, the music will calm down. Um, it's really awesome. The same thing's in Devil May Cry 5 as well. It's just like if you're really good at the game, the music will get louder. If you're doing really shit, the music will be really quiet.
that's cool. I always like stuff like that when the music will pick up. Um, Especially in multiplayer games. A lot of people don't like that, but I really like when multiplayer games will have like combat music when you enter combat. It's a
Hmm.
really untapped thing. Like there's very few developers that do that where when you actually start fighting in a multiplayer match, like the music will pick up and get more intense. It's something that developers need to do more because it's just so cool.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is with the Devil May Cry 5 soundtrack, that's how people figured out. You know how game journalists are known for not being very good at video games?
Yeah.
Right, that's how people figured out that the game journalists reviewing Devil May Cry 5 were crap because of the soundtrack, because a lot of the complaints in the reviews was just the music is much more muted than the previous games, and they figured out, well, the reason why is because the music gets really quiet when you're terrible at the game.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It's just like, and it is like someone showcased it in a video. It's just like if you're doing really well at the game, the music is bumping loud. If you're doing really shit, then the music is just like so quiet.
I really like that though because it incentivizes players to keep on kicking ass.
Yeah, because it's just like if you want loud ass music, you want loud ass metal music in your ears, then go do it.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, Devil May Cry 5 is so awesome. I mean, literally, in that game you have a cowboy hat that shoots meteors.
Huh,
It's
how
fucking,
about that?
it's crazy. Anyway, other great games of 2019. McDonald's Simulator, Death Stranding. Um, the funny thing is,
Classic.
you talk about Hollow Knight having a lot of content. Do you know how long Death Stranding is?
I heard it like the cutscenes alone are like 8 hours or something.
The game on first time playthrough, just doing the story missions, is around 40 hours.
Jesus Christ.
And the end, like the thing is, the ending sequence of the game has like is around 2 hours long.
Wow. That well,
Yeah.
it's like a full movie.
Yeah, well, it's not like all cutscenes. There is like gameplay parts of it, but just the ending sequence of the game is 2 hours long.
Have you beaten it?
Yes,
Is it is it is it good? Like the ending?
I cried at the ending.
You cried at the ending. Okay, that's good. That tells me it's good. I'm not judging because I've cried at games before. So, that be I cry. I barely like a tear or two. But the ending of Halo 4 and a little bit of Hollow Knight. I think I want to say Hollow Knight. I think I could be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah,
Regardless, Hollow Knight, the one of the endings that you get literally like I was playing it at a friend's house because we were kind of having some downtime, so it was just me and a group of people, and I was playing it alone. And one of my buddies saw my reaction and like my reaction to the one of the endings, and he was like, "Henry, what the fuck? You look like you just saw a ghost." Like it's a pretty shocking game. Like it'll get you. It'll get you. It's a good game though.
Fair enough.
Very good.
Yeah, but yeah, Death Stranding is a pretty great game. It's not a game that's for everyone. It's a very different type of game. But I feel like if you're someone who's interested in a unique experience, you'll enjoy it.
Interesting. Okay.
Plus, you'll probably enjoy some of the cameos in it.
Norman Reedus.
Not just him, Mads Mikkelsen is also in the game.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, but there's also a few cameos. I won't spoil it for anyone who's is playing for the game. But there's a few people who make a few cameos, and it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Not Keanu Reeves though; he's not in the game. Also, my chair is getting really squeaky.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, no.
Yeah, this chair's uncomfortable as hell.
Oh my gosh, I can literally hear it. But it's I was kind of had mixed feelings about Death Stranding, especially after a lot of people said it was kind of just like a walking simulator. But the way you word it, I might give it a go sometime.
It does have combat in it.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
really it's really weird though because it just comes out of nowhere like 20 hours into the game, like just randomly you're thrown into a third person shooter segment. You're just like, what?
Interesting.
It's just so weird.
Sounds a bit jarring, but I mean, I'm sure it's got its reasons.
I mean, you get to beat the crap out of Mads Mikkelsen in this game. Can you say that for any other video game?
It's true.
No, literally, I was doing that for 5 minutes straight. This is the funniest moment of Death Stranding. You're supposed to shoot the crap out of him, but instead I just started beating the crap out of him and realized, oh wait, this is doing nothing. So I'm literally just standing there for 5 minutes straight beating the crap out of Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh my goodness. That being said, I would love a video game that's got Danny DeVito in it.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a video game with Keanu Reeves in it.
Exactly. Danny DeVito, call him up. I'm sure he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, which Cyberpunk has actually been delayed to September.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, it's a big world. I didn't think it was gonna be, anytime soon. I thought it was gonna be delayed anyway, so I'm looking forward to it, but if it is as big as they really say it is, I'm glad it's delayed. Because otherwise it's just gonna be a No Man's Sky too, right? Like
Yeah,
where speaking of No Man's Sky, I heard it's good now.
I
Like
haven't
really
played
good.
it, so I can't say.
I might give it a shot because I was one of the people who kind of hated on No Man's Sky when it first came out, but now many years later, I've heard it's actually pretty good. The developers doubled down and now they're working their asses off for free and they're just making the game. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done with that. So yeah, my favorite game of 2019 is My Friend Pedro. Such a fun experience.
Mm. And I'd say mine is Jedi Fallen Order. I don't think there was any game that came out in 2019 that was as intriguing as Jedi Fallen Order to me. Granted, I am a huge science fan, so it's inevitable. But yeah, yeah.
You know, I find
2019 was a pretty damn good game, pretty damn good year for video games, though. So yeah.
before I forget it, the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Ah, yes,
Yes.
yes.
You know what I find interesting though about My Friend Pedro?
Yeah.
It was made in 4.5 years by one person.
Really?
Yes. Like, it's incredible, like, how this game that was made by just one person can compete with, like, games that are made by thousands of people. Anyway, moving
It's
on
pretty
to,
cool.
yeah, moving on to the next one. We were on that for a long time. Moving on to next question. These are by Razel M, and he has 7 questions for us.
Jeez, All right. Well, I appreciate the interest.
I I I don't think we can go as in depth with these ones. This is quite a lot.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
trying to find the tweet again.
all right. So his first
There
question
we
is, preparations for spring 2020. Which upcoming games are you going to buy first? Resident Evil
Interesting.
3 and Doom Eternal.
Spring 2020 game preparations. Yeah, I'm pretty much on, I'm gonna get Doom Eternal probably. I might wait like a month after it's released because I'm just a busy man, but yeah, just Doom Eternal pretty much for spring 2020. I don't think there's really anything else that's coming out in spring 2020 that is really jumping out at me at the moment.
Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Maybe, maybe we'll see. But I'm more so interested in Doom Eternal myself. I thought Doom 2016 was like it was all right, like it was good. But I feel like Doom Eternal looks a lot more interesting to me now. Like I'm a lot more intrigued by its development. So I think I'll enjoy Doom Eternal a lot more than Doom 2016. It looks a lot more uh, there's a lot more going on, I guess,
All right.
is the way I can explain it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, yeah.
Have you heard the soundtrack to it though?
What about the soundtrack?
Doom Eternal. There's a recent track that was released from the game's soundtrack, um, called "The Only Thing They Fear Is You." I'll
Yeah,
send it to you through Discord. Have you heard it?
I have not, no.
Right. Once we're done with this podcast, listen to that thing because it is banging.
Really?
It is incredible. It's by Mick Gordon, obviously, who composed Doom 2016 soundtrack and Prey 2017 soundtrack. Um, it is amazing. And also in this game, he decided to have a heavy metal choir in it,
You don't hear that a lot.
which is the first in recorded history.
What?
Yes,
Really?
there has never been a heavy metal choir before in recorded history.
Uh, I what? I'm getting some Mandela effect shit going on here. I'm sure I've what? Okay, that is that's pretty fucking metal, dude.
He's literally doing an entirely new type of music with this game.
That's wow. Okay,
If
people say this a lot, like, oh, in the next few years, there's gonna be no music to make because everything will be made already. You can't invent new music after 2045 or something like that. We're out here doing metal choirs. Yeah, yeah. You're doing that and telling me that music is dead.
Yeah, it's a choir
uh,
composed entirely of heavy metal screamers.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool.
I'm so excited to hear what that's like. But yeah, check that piece of music out once we're done with the podcast. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the only ones I have planned for there. Do you have any other ones planned?
Um, no, no, nothing, no new games. That I'm getting for spring. As far as I know, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
I would have said
Um,
Cyberpunk, but that's been delayed to September now, so
yeah, exactly. I guess. Let's see. Just going through my Steam wish list right now, seeing if there's anything that maybe I can think of off the top of my head.
yeah.
Ooh. Well, I'm not sure when it's coming out, but Outer Worlds on PC, I'm definitely going to be grabbing that when it comes out. Um,
Death Stranding will be coming to PC as well.
oh yeah, I heard about that as well. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'll probably get it on PC at some point. Why not?
By the way, to anyone in the comments, if it turns out I'm wrong about the whole heavy metal screamers thing, it being the first in history, please let me know. Because if it turns out I'm wrong, I don't want to be spreading misinformation.
That is a good point. That
All
is
right.
a good point.
So if it turns out I'm wrong, let me know, and I will post it in the pinned comment so
That's
people
fair.
people can see, and I can just note saying, "Turns out I was incorrect." But as far as I know, yes, it is the first in recorded history.
Fascinating.
Anyway,
Oh.
next question is video games slash movies slash anime that helped you discover your favorite music artists.
Oh boy.
Breaking Benjamin, Halo 2.
For fuck's sake. God damn it. No. All right.
Uberstank, Halo 2.
Oh jeez. Well, okay. My musical taste is always like an enigma. Like most people who know me, if there was like a life or death situation where it's like, what is Henry's favorite music? Guaranteed they wouldn't be able to answer because my music is just it is so all over the place. There's no cohesion to it. It is just fucking whatever's bumping or makes me sad or makes me happy or makes me feel literally anything in my soulless heart. So it's I guess for music from movies, you know, the John Williams and what's his face, Hans Zimmer, that kind of stuff. Really like that stuff. For video games, you know, Christopher Larkin, Hollow Knight. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I'm not even what's his face? Martin O'Donnell for Halo. Um, just a just a bunch of people really helped contribute to kind of the developing of my musical tastes. I don't like just video game music, obviously, but off the top of my head for anime, there is uh, a composer that I just absolutely enjoy. He's done stuff for Shin Godzilla, Evangelion, Bleach, and a bunch of other stuff. And I just that kind of stuff is bumping. It is bumping. So that sort of stuff that's really right up my alley. I really like my orchestral stuff. I really like my, loud, bombastic orchestra music. So that sort of stuff's right up my alley, but I like a bunch of other different genres of music. So but in the context of movies and video games and anime, off the top of my head, those are just some of the many answers that I have. But yeah.
My answers are a bit interesting because a lot of my favorite bands I found through like some of my favorite pieces of media. Like, as everyone knows, I'm a big Poets the Fall fan, and that comes from Remedy Entertainment's video games because they're basically in all of their games. Um, and they're a great band. I love their music. They're able to do such a great variety of songs as well. Like, none of their songs sound the same. And that's what's cool about them is that the music is always fresh, and they can do so many different styles, and it always fits like whatever they're doing. So I'm a big fan of them, Poets of the Fall. Finnish band, by the way. Um, what other ones do I like? That I found through media. Green Day because of Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's fair. It's fair.
What other ones do I like? Nine Inch Nails because of Quake.
Okay.
That's a great one. What other
Just a lot
ones?
more in depth than I could ever think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, it's weird for me because of the stuff. What other ones do I like? Uh, Churches. I found them because of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which is a I don't really like the game, but I found the band and the band is really awesome. In fact, they actually have a song in Death Stranding, so that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah, they have a
nice.
song. It plays during the credits. It's called Death Stranding, and which apparently the song is so good it made Hideo Kojima cry.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really good song actually. I love them. I love their music. I also love the lead singer, Lauren Mayberry. She's a very funny individual. There's like videos online of her doing like funny stuff, and it's hilarious. Check it out if
Interesting.
you're interested. Like, what other ones? Um, yeah. I don't really know. I guess those are my answers for now.
I gotcha. I mean, music is such a diverse thing, so it's not something I can answer in just one sitting. my musical tastes are so diverse and just all over the place. So I yeah, I've got a bunch of answers, but I can't think of them all off the top of my head. So yeah.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
that's yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah.
All right. Next question is biggest change you'd like to implement into your social media life?
Oh, biggest changes I'd like to implement into my social media. That's interesting.
Quit Twitter.
Quit Twitter.
I've thought about it a
I
couple times.
That's fair. That's fair. I honestly really like my Twitter. I like all the people that I chat with. I like the people, I just like everything because I'm trying to distance myself a little bit from a good chunk of the Halo community.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like them, but there are some. It's just no. Distance is a strong word. I'm not trying to distance. I'm just trying to expand my horizons for Twitter. Like when I log onto my Twitter, I don't want to see just Halo. So I haven't like unfollowed anybody or anything. I'm just following more um, artists and people who just do their own thing because then that way my feed is more mixed. It's not just Halo people tweeting Halo stuff. Because as much as I love Halo, Halo is not, my main thing. Um, I don't play it every day. I used to, but and I still love it to this day and everything. Don't get me wrong, but it's always nice to see Team Fortress 2 stuff or Titanfall 2 or um, Smash Smash stuff or just not even video games. Like just all kinds of things. Got to keep my Twitter kind of full of different content so I don't get bored. But yeah, the people that I've met on Twitter are fantastic, and a lot of you guys I consider, kind of like a second family. So it's all good in the hood. I really like my Twitter. But
That's
if there's
very.
anything that I could change, I would say I wouldn't change anything. I guess just hmm, I guess maybe just like I more. No, no, there's nothing that I would really change. I can't think of anything really off the top of my head that like really gets my goat, There's nothing really. It's all people just being people, I can't change that. I'm happy with what I have.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's very nice of you, but I hate my Twitter.
That's fair. Hey, you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do,
I hate
Can't
it because
can't blame you.
most of it, because of the amount of like um, anime and hentai accounts I follow, most of my Twitter feed, when I look at it, I
No,
I just look at it. It's just
no,
all hentai.
don't tell me that. No. Oh my God.
There's like no good tweets on it. It's just all hentai.
Oh jeez.
Oh, like I see. Oh, there's one good tweet. Oh, there's another one, and it's I don't even want to describe that. I even posted like a meme about that where it's just like that feel when you're scrolling through Twitter and some hentai pops up and it's just a video of Bayonetta going, "Oh, tentacles! Why did it have to be tentacles?"
Oh my God, no. Why
Um,
must you make me suffer? Uh,
the thing is with me, just in general, I'm not really a big fan of Twitter, which I know sounds strange because I use it quite a lot.
okay.
I'm not happy with the kind of culture it promotes because a thing I don't like about the internet nowadays is how it kind of promotes the idea that those with unpopular opinions are always the wrong ones, which I don't agree with, and I think is a very stupid idea. Um, because most people who like the thing is, most people in the world are very reasonable people. Like, I mean, there are a lot of idiots out there, but I think most people are just generally reasonable people, and they just might come from a different background or different perspective on something, and so I don't think they should be shunned simply because they have a different perspective on something. Um,
That's fair.
and I don't like how much Twitter promotes that idea with everything. I mean, obviously there are some people out there who do say like genuinely stupid stuff, but most of the time people just get angry on Twitter at nothing, and I just don't like that type of culture. I just don't like it seeing it in my tweets, like my feed constantly, and especially stuff that is just very like arguments on Twitter happen over the most paper thin circumstances, and it's just always annoying. And so I've tried to stay out of it, but oftentimes I get involved, even if it's out of my, even if it's not my own choice. I just somehow get involved with it, and it's so annoying. I just don't like that type of culture,
Huh.
which is why I've considered quitting Twitter multiple times. But until another platform comes up that is a better platform, I guess I'm stuck on it now. Because
Oh,
it,
jeez.
because it'd be really hard. It'd be really weird if I just sort of left. Like it'd be really hard to like if I had another platform, I could be like, okay, I'm gonna move to this platform now. But it'd be it'd be really weird if I just sort of like, okay, I'm out now. It's like really
I
weird.
hear you. Yeah, no, like with my Twitter feed, I just don't support what I don't like really.
Yeah,
But I see what you mean in the sense of kind of people just arguing. There's a lot of arguments on my Twitter feed, and all those people I just unfollow. When like obvious, it's okay to express your opinion, but when people are just being, toxic, I don't need to see that. I don't need to support that. So, um, yeah, yeah, that I suppose if I could change something about my Twitter, it would just be the amount of arguing and the amount of people just not getting along. And there are some really childish people out there that just really don't understand how to talk with a human being, I guess. But that's uh, everybody's different, I guess. We live in a diverse world, so you can't expect everyone to act the exact same.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is why I enjoy talking to people like you or some of like the other followers because it's just like they're more reasonable people.
thank you.
Yeah, because it's just like even if like you and me, for example, even if we disagreed on a subject, it's just like we're civil people, so we can have a discussion about it. And even if the end of the discussion we still disagree, we've at least gained a new perspective on it. So we've gained something
Yeah,
from the conversation. It's not just us shouting at each other. Whereas I feel like on Twitter, it's just a lot of people shouting at each other, and it's just really annoying.
yeah.
By the way, I'm being quieter because it's quite late right now in the UK.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Don't want to wake my
it
neighbors.
is that is a good point. I kind of forgot.
Yeah,
My bad.
no, don't worry, because I don't, I don't mind staying up late, but it's just, they had, I don't. It's not an issue for me, but it's an issue for my neighbors.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Um.
But yeah,
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's basically just the thing on it. I don't think I'll be quitting Twitter. But if another platform comes up that is much better or offers better opportunities for me, then I will be jumping ship.
it's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for asking the question. The fourth one I don't really feel comfortable answering because it's just a bit too personal, and it's a question for your greatest regret of the last decade.
Oh boy, greatest regret of the last decade.
I'm not going to talk about that, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I totally understand. A lot of people say I don't open up enough on my Twitter, and that's mostly just because I don't see a reason to. Everybody like my Twitter generally is me putting my best foot forward for the most part.
Yeah,
But I don't ever like alter facts about me. I am who I am, and I am who, I'm the person that I am behind the Twitter account. But I'd say my biggest regret in the last decade would probably just be it's a lot, it's very uh personal, and it's tied in with a lot, it's tied in with like friends and people that I've dated. Just I guess um respect the people. Like in high school, I wasn't as nice as I am now because I was dealing with a lot of stuff. So I didn't always have the patience that I have now. I didn't have the best mindset. So just stuff like that. I just wasn't the best person that I could have been. I didn't do anything particularly terrible, but I could have been a better person back in high school. So I guess that would be my biggest regret in the last decade, just not being the person that I am now. Like I'm here now, and I still have so much to learn from, and I still have so much to figure out about who I am as a person and my values, and just being a better person in general. I still have so much to learn. So I guess if I could change something, well, you know what? I wouldn't change. Even all the mistakes that I've made in my life, which I have made many. I've made many mistakes in my time. I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't have learned from them then.
Hmm.
I have been through a lot in my life, but if I had the ability to travel back in time and change it, I wouldn't because it wouldn't have taught me anything, and I may have made those mistakes in the future. As painful as some of the things were, I'm glad they happened because it gave me patience. It taught me a lot of things. It made me respect the things that I have, maybe respect the people that I have, and made me a better person because I learned from my mistakes and just learned from me
Yeah.
being the person that I was then and maybe a better person now. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
I
made a video
guess
about that
that's.
a while ago.
Hmm?
You made a video about that a while ago, didn't you?
I did?
Yeah.
Hmm. What kind of video are you talking about?
The video where it was uh I can't remember the title of it, but it was just you talking about your personal life or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
no, it's
yeah, I remember talking to you
yeah.
after that one because I was concerned.
Yeah, no. I'm all right.
Good.
Um, but yeah, no, basically like I was a stupid teenager, really. That's it. We all make mistakes and we all learn from them. We do dumb things. We're dumb to people, and you can't always know what the best decision is in life when you're sitting there, but days after or weeks after or even years after, you'll look back and say, God, I should have been a nicer person. Oh, I should have spent more time with those people. Oh, I should have apologized for that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I should have done that. And when you have the mindset that you have at that time, when you're in that situation, you're not always going to make the best decision. But in the future, you'll look back after thinking about it for so long, you'll have all these ideas and you'll regret it, or you'll think you better. Life is life. You made the decision that you did at that time. Uh, yeah. Word of advice from Henry here.
You know,
Don't judge people based on the mistakes that they make. Judge them based on what they do afterwards. Will they learn from their mistakes or will they repeat them? I judge it on both of those things. The mistakes that they make, but also the whether or not they try to learn from them and improve from them or try to remedy the issue. Um, Kind of going off on a tangent here, but yeah, no. Just respect the people that you have, respect the things that you have, appreciate what you got, and do your best to learn from all the mistakes that you make. But yeah,
well, actually,
that's.
you've what you've said is actually given me a perfect opportunity to insert a Max Payne quote here.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, actually, it actually relates quite a bit to what you were saying. It's a quote from the second game. He says, quote, "There are no choices, nothing but a straight line. The illusion comes afterwards when you ask why me and what if. When you look back, see the branches like a bristled bronzel tree or a forked lightning. If you had done something differently, it wouldn't be you. It would be someone else looking back, asking a different set of questions."
That's actually pretty cool. That's really interesting. Goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah,
what you were saying.
yeah. For me, yeah, no, yeah, I was a dumb high school teenager, but now I'm an adult. I'm still learning a lot about myself and who I am and everything, but so I'm not a perfect person, but I'm a lot better as a human being as I am now than I was then. So
Yeah,
that's yeah, but I mean, I can't change that. I
yeah.
was who I was, and I did what I did. So.
I don't
No,
want
no, I'm not. I'm sounding very cryptic, like I
to.
committed a crime or something. No, I just, like I'm very, like I mentioned this in my announcement video. If you know what I'm talking about, I mentioned this in the description. I am like, despite my happy-go-lucky kind of cheeky attitude, I am very critical of myself. Like I
Yeah.
am very hard on myself, and I like barely anybody knows it that. So even the smallest mistake, I'm very like I'm always calculating what I could have done better and stuff like that. So I'm very hard on myself, and a lot of people, when I look back on the past and I mention something, people think it's like, oh my gosh, what happened? What happened to you? And it's like, oh, I just had a breakup, or, I just had that. But it's like, you're always looking back on the past, and you're always like, oh, but, no, really, yeah, nothing particularly, um, interesting, but,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't really
I'm
want to
not
dwell.
some master criminal or something. I was just user, so
Yeah,
whatever. But
I
yeah,
don't really want to dwell on this question because I don't really have anything interesting to say. I don't really
that's
like.
totally
I
fine.
don't really like getting too personal. I'm a private person.
Yeah, I generally like to keep my life and my kind of online persona separate, but to be the same person. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, same thing here.
yeah, like I am who I never fake anything on my account, but I don't need to tell you guys about my day-to-day life, I work a job 5 days a week. I go to school. I'm a normal human being. I like what I like, I think I share more than enough on my Twitter already, so yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. It's just
Yeah.
like, does anyone really need to know what I do in my daily life? No.
Yeah, does anyone really need to know? Does anyone really care what I do in my day-to-day life? Probably not. Except for an online stalker I had a couple of years ago, but let's not get into that.
Okay.
I did have uh yeah, that was a time. That was a time.
Yeah, but I just don't like getting like too personal. Mainly because as you were saying, it's just like I like to keep my online persona different because while I am Mr. No Life slash Haruka, by the way, if you didn't know Henry, I now have a new name apparently, Haruka.
Haruka.
It's a
Interesting.
Japanese name.
Huh.
Well, because the thing is, people get tired of having to refer to me as Mr. No Life all the time because it's 3 words every time you have to refer to me. So I was thinking, well, what would be a shorter way people could refer to me with just 1 word? Okay, I'll do a Japanese name, Haruka, that works.
Haruka. That's cool.
Not my real life name, obviously, but if you want to refer to me as
Chances
Haruka.
are it's gonna be like a swear or something. No, I'm joking.
No, it's just, I looked it up, it's just a Japanese name.
Okay, cool. Works for
Um,
me.
but yeah, it's just like, and people are like, why don't you just use a real name? It's just like, I want to keep my personal life and internet life separate because it's just like, I'm not Mr. No Life 24 hours of the day.
Yeah, people in real life call me Badger. Like enough people know about my Twitter account and my YouTube that like my coworkers, like 2/3 of them know about my account. So when I come into work, they won't even call me Henry. Sometimes they'll just say, "Hey, Mr. Badger," or, "Hey, Badger, what's poppin'?" Um, so I mean, I keep my Twitter and my real life pretty close, but not so close to the point of where it's like you guys know everything about me, my social insurance number and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, I share what needs to be shared, and we all live our own life. There's no reason for me to post what I eat every day. I'm not taking photos of my dinner, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, what? Yeah, that's the thing. What does anyone really know about me anyway? Nothing, pretty much.
And it's like everything that I share is what I think is important. There's no big like secret of Henry exposed. He's a fucking ostrich behind a computer. He's a goddamn ostrich. He's not even human, but you know, there's nothing about me. People have met me in real life that I met through Twitter first. They, like freaking what's his face, Tyler from Halo Collective. I met him through Twitter, and then we close, so we met at a convention a couple of times. Um, I act pretty much the exact same that I do online. Really, I'm just a big dumb idiot that likes video games. So that's it. Like, yeah.
You know, it's
Thank you for the question, though. It's a very, very, very thought-provoking question, and there's a lot to say about it. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Speaking of which, I was actually thinking a bit ago that since me, Baggy, and a few other people that I've done the podcast with, since we all live in the UK, I was thinking at some point we should probably do a meetup. Not you, obviously, because you're in Canada.
That is a good point. Yeah, well, maybe this year, Nick, go to the UK. So,
Oh, that'd be
gonna
interesting.
take a trip with my family. Funny,
Oh,
funny you should mention that. Yeah,
oh, if that's the case, we should definitely do a meetup then.
yeah, sure, dude. I'll message you.
I'll do,
I'll be,
I'll do it in the full Mr. No Life costume that I do in the videos.
I'm like out in the streets with my phone out. I've got like a big like trench coat, and I'm looking around, and then I like approach you, and I've got my big trench coat, and the police are just like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a big fucking problem."
Well, no,
This is gonna be
Since it's the UK's police, they just be like, "Oh, mate, they'll be not okay. We're not having any blooming trench coats in this town."
oh my goodness.
That'd be funny though. Just like me walk around in public in the entire outfit, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Boy.
Um, anyway, so yeah, anyway, next question. Got sidetracked there. We only got 3 more questions to do, and then we're done.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so number 5. This one, I'm gonna end this pretty quickly. Mobile games that are worth your time. None of them. They're all shit. Goodbye.
Oh my goodness. Um mobile games that I play. Raid Shadow No, kidding.
Here's a sponsor for
I
Raid Shadow Legends. It has a great
honestly Raid
story,
Shadow
great
Legends.
customizations.
Raid Shadow Legends, if you want to fucking sponsor me, do it. Um I will happily take a sponsor from Raid Shadow Legends.
You know, I was thinking of making a joke where, like, at the beginning of each video, I would fake sponsor, like, someone, like, say, for example, if, like, Audible was to sponsor me, like, I would do, like, a fake sponsor where I'd say I was sponsored by them, but it would just be me making fun of it. Like, today's video is sponsored by Audible, because apparently people can't read words anymore. They need to have it spoken to
Okay.
them.
Oh, jeez. That's good. Honestly, the only mobile game apps that I have are like, and this is gonna make me sound like a total like 40-year-old woman, but like Plants vs Zombies, um, and like a couple of like really old like Age of War, if anybody's heard of that
Oh, yeah.
flash game that's like fucking 2000 years old. I have that. They made an app for that game, and I have it on my phone, and I play it when I'm like at a dentist office, and I'm just like, yeah, this thing is gonna be about 20 minutes. Sounds like an Age of War match for me. um so yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I don't do much mobile gaming because I don't really get the opportunities to, because I don't really need to
I'm in my room
do
most of the
that.
day anyway, so why would I play a mobile game instead of playing Devil May Cry?
That's fair. And more, I mostly when I'm out, I just listen to music more than anything. I'm a big music guy. I always have, my earphones or earplugs or whatever they're called. I headphones. I could not think of
AirPods.
the word. Earpods. Yeah, headphones. I always have my headphones in. Like if you see me out in public, 9 out of 10 times I have my headphones in, and the only reason I don't is because I'm trying to listen to somebody like that's talking to me, or I've listened to so much music that I need to take a break and just listen to actual outside sound noises. In conclusion, I music is a huge thing in my life, so I'm always listening to it, even when I'm like at home. I'm just there. Very little times when I'm not listening to music. Um,
If you see me in public, turn around and run away as fast as you can.
if you see me in public, chances are I won't be able to hear you the first time you yell at me. Uh, just because.
I have very sensitive hearing, by the way.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I hate being in like public because like traffic noises is just
Yeah,
yeah. That's
that
why I'm always
sucks.
listening to music. Also to avoid conversations.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Anyway,
That's fair.
number 6. Your first video versus your last video. Feelings when creating them and improvements you've gained over time. None. All my videos are crap. Good night. um,
Oh my goodness.
it's interesting because when I do you want me to go first or you?
No, you go right ahead.
All right. It's interesting because obviously my first video was the Doom 3 video from February 2018, which means I've been doing videos on YouTube now for almost 2 years, and I'm still doing it. So I guess something's going right. I guess I'm enjoying it. But it's just weird because I don't really watch my own videos. Like once they're uploaded, that's it. I don't usually go back and watch them. Um, but I can remember making the Doom 3 video quite fondly, because obviously it was the first time making a video, and I had so many difficulties making it, which nowadays I could get that video done in like a week, whereas before it took like 3 months because I was so new to it. I didn't know how anything worked. Um,
Oh,
I, yeah, I remember working on it over Christmas 2017 as well. Um, but in a way, I'm kind of happy with it because like some of my older videos, I have gone back and watched them at some points, and I'm not particularly happy with like how they are now. But at the same time, I guess I'm kind of happy with that idea because it means I've gotten better. Because I'm looking at this video being like, this is really crap. I could make this 1,000 times better if I made it now. And in a way, that's a good thing because it means I'm doing better. I'm improving.
I got you.
So it's just like, yeah, like my older videos are kind of crap, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy that they are because it means I'm getting better. You know, I mean, my videos now are still crap, but they're less crap.
No, I like them. I very much enjoy them.
Yeah, you were in the Half-Life 2 one, man. You're in the videos.
That is a good point.
Yeah. Um,
Maybe it's bias. Who knows?
yeah. Which, like, your involvement as well as everyone else's involvement is what bumped it up to 3 hours long.
True.
Yeah.
Uh,
I knew it was going to be over 2 hours long. I wasn't expecting it to be nearly 3 hours. But either way, that was a really entertaining video. Thank you for being a part of it.
yeah, no worries. I was happy to be there.
Yeah. Um, which was surprising because I was expecting it to just be a 10-minute segment of the video, but it ended up being a full-on segment. So it isn't just like a small like cameo in the video, it's a full-on collaboration, which is cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, 5 collaborations all at once. Yeah, that was really awesome. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of the thing. I mean, it's interesting also doing like if we're talking about the podcasts as well. Because like the first episode of the podcast actually, this is actually because you're pretty much the entire reason this podcast got started. Because I was putting out a thing on Twitter being like, "Hey, I might do a podcast," and you were like, "Yeah, sure, I'll join you." And the first episode is really funny.
Thanks.
No, just because of how awkward it is. Because uh, how should I put this? I said it on Twitter a while back, but I'm someone who suffers from severe social anxiety. Um,
That's fair.
so I don't do well talking to people, as you can probably tell just by listening to the podcasts.
I
Um,
think you're doing just fine.
no, but the funny thing is that literally I remember just like 5 minutes before we did the first episode, I had a panic attack.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Jesus.
Yeah, because I was just like,
Oh no.
because it's just like, well, this is the first time I'm doing something like this, and like at the time I didn't know you at all. I mean, we'd followed each other on Twitter and we talked a bit, but I didn't know you like I do now, where I consider you a
Yeah,
close friend. Um,
thank you.
but like, so I was just kind of like, eh. It's been getting better since. I don't feel as anxious when talking to people, but there are still a lot of social situations where I just, yeah, it doesn't do well for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
Especially when it's like talking like face to face or when it's with a group of people. Because normally I can handle like 2 or 3 people just fine. But when it's like a group of people, no, I can't handle it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Um, so yeah, it's also funny to think about because I was 15 when we did that first episode, and I'm 17.
Gee. Wow. Oh my goodness. What? That is crazy. And I would have been, oh wait. That would have been, I would have just turned 18, I think.
Jeez, and
Wow,
now you're 20.
that's crazy.
Yep,
That's pretty heckin' wacky, dude.
hickin'
But
Becky.
yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry for the long-winded answer, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I've improved over time. I'm pretty happy with where my channel's going. Um, the issue kind of is though is there is a lack of direction. It's just like my channel's like progressing. I just don't know where it's going, and I think I need to have a better idea of where I'm going with YouTube.
That's
Hopefully,
fair. That's
hopefully
fair.
by the end of the year, I have an idea. I have a clear vision. But it's just right now, I'm kind of just flip flopping around doing certain stuff. So yeah, but I'm enjoying it. So
Fair.
because the thing I've kind of realized over the years is just kind of like because of I know it may seem like a weird thing to bring up, but it's just like there have been people in my life who have passed away, and like it's kind of made, and some of them have been like old, some of them have been really young, and it's kind of just made me realize I may have another 50 years on the planet, I may have another 10, I may have another year or so on the planet. At the end of the day, I don't know how much longer I have left on the planet, so I just want to make the best as I can. Not saying I want to die. This is not a suicide note, by the way. Um, but it's just kind of the point. I'm just like I just want to have fun and do whatever I want to do. I don't care really if I'm like successful in life or not. I just want to enjoy it. I'd rather fail at life enjoying it than succeed at life hating it. Because if I hate it, what's the point?
Wow, that's deep.
Um,
That's
but that's just kind of the thing with YouTube as well. It's just kind of like I don't really care if I'm not successful on YouTube as long as I'm enjoying it. Sure. But yeah, that's basically just like the thing with me is just like I just want to have as much fun as possible because like I could be on YouTube for another 10 years, I could be on YouTube for another year, could be on YouTube for another month. Who knows? I just want to have fun with it in the meantime.
that's totally valid.
Yeah, anyway, what were you
Yeah,
going to
no.
say?
From oh geez, what was the full question again? I
The,
just want to make sure.
your first video versus your last video, which I guess for you would be your first work as a voice actor versus your last work as a voice actor.
Oh boy. Well, I can answer that kind of with two things because I've my first YouTube video was oh my goodness. So it's I've actually been doing YouTube longer than this channel. Um, I had a YouTube channel with my sister when we were like in middle school.
Yeah.
So technically I've been doing it for many, many, many years. But if we're counting just my channel as in Henry Badger, I've been doing it for 4 years. I think 4 years now, coming up on 4. So, um, it's comparing my first video to my videos now, it's like it's pretty big the change because I used my first video was actually just a post like it was supposed to be bad because I made it in Microsoft Movie Maker because at that time when I was like 16 years old that was like the funniest shit to me just making like Microsoft Movie Maker shit posts and like doing like before that I did those what is it called the I forgot the editing software but it was like the blue screen with the white text and the white text would always have like the really over the top like fading in fading out like the transitions like the really over the top transitions and it would be like shitty top 10 lists just parodying like really old like 2006 YouTube videos like that was kind of my like thing where I would parody these like decade old YouTube videos like top 10 scariest Mario Easter eggs number 7 that kind of shit. I always thought that was funny. So, like when I was 16 years old, I thought that was the funniest fucking thing on the planet. And it kind of evolved into like Microsoft Movie Maker shit posts because people would always make fun of that, like MS Paint, like how do I rotate text in MS Paint, that sort of thing. And I made a video and was like, hey, this is actually not too bad. And then I started uploading clips, and then people just started commenting, and then I was like, okay, maybe I could like I always had like a little character that I had, and then I mixed that character with Halo, um,
Of course.
and kind of made like a mishmash of my character that I've had for since I was like in middle school. Mishmash that with Halo, and then it became a Halo mascot, and now I'm like trying to not make it a Halo mascot as much, and I might redesign him because I want to make it more general, just science fiction in general, like a science fiction Twitter mascot. So maybe someday I'll redesign him, but it's I yeah, my channel has really evolved, but I still feel like I could do better for quality, but at the end of the day, YouTube just isn't my top priority, unfortunately. There's part of me that does kind of like want to do YouTube often as I can, but I just don't have the time or the skill for it. But in the context of my voice work, my first voice project in comparison to now, it is night and day
Yeah,
because
you're really
I
good.
have new microphones, I have new audio interface, I have a new computer, I have a new monitor, I have like completely overhauled my equipment, and I've taken classes in university for acting and theater and voice acting and sound design and video editing. So it's like a lot has changed, but I feel like I could do so much more. But at the same time, I'm pretty satisfied with what I have. But that's just me being critical of myself, like, oh, I always do better thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Well, you're really good, so don't worry.
thank you. I think I'm fine where I am. I'm pretty happy. And as long as I'm always working towards moving, I'm fine. So yeah, no, I'd say my content in overall has improved, even in the slightest bit, but nonetheless has improved in one way or another. So yeah,
All right.
that's my answer to that.
All right. Now the final question. This is a weird question for me to answer at 12 in the morning. Um, Serious one. Depression at a young age. What do you think is the cause, and how to help overcome slash live with it?
Oh my goodness, I
Rachel Lamb, It's 12 in the morning. Why are you asking me these questions?
I
Um,
feel terrible for you. I'm so sorry.
no, no. Here's the thing. If I sound depressed, well, I'm not depressed. I'm just tired.
Oh
Because
goodness.
as like when we
Um,
started the podcast, I was like, "Hey, yay, I'm really like now I'm just like really tired." But I got Pepsi, so
that's
don't worry, I'll be fine.
well. If you want me to speed it up, let me know. But
No, it's fine. We can take as long as we want with this because I don't
okay.
mind. I got nothing planned for tomorrow. I can sleep the whole day. I don't care.
Okay, that's good at least. But do you want to answer first, or do you want?
Um,
I'm fine with.
it's kind of hard for me to answer because I don't suffer from depression and I haven't really ever. Um,
Okay.
I've had feelings of it, but I haven't fully like suffered from it. Um, and it's mainly just because like um, how do I put it? I've tried to over the years I've just stopped caring less about things that don't really matter because I feel like people nowadays or just people just in general throughout history have put too much emphasis on stuff that doesn't really matter in the long run, and
Okay.
that's just kind of something I've tried to avoid because I want to focus on stuff that actually matters.
Hmm.
And I think that's, but I think mental health and especially depression is something that does matter, and I don't think it is taken as seriously as it should be because it isn't just like feeling a bit sorry for yourself or being a bit sad. It's something that infects your entire life, and changes
Hmm.
who you are. And I just don't like how it's often just pushed to the side and how it's ignored a lot of the time. And I just think it's really stupid. I think more, and I hate how a lot of the systems put in place. I know this is kind of a critique of society. Um, I
Oh
hate,
no.
I hate how a lot of the systems put in place don't help them anyway. Like a lot of the systems put in place to help these people don't help them.
Have you? This is Joker. You're quoting Joker. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
And actually, one thing
Uh,
I am really happy about with Joker is that it has brought attention to the like pathological laughter disease, which is a neurological
yeah.
disease, which is relatively unknown, but it is actually very accurate the way Joaquin Phoenix portrays it. If you There's videos online of people who suffer with it. It's very accurate
Wow.
to how it actually is in
That's
real
interesting.
life. Anyway, great film by the way. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of an issue with it because like especially with a lot of like therapists, like the issue with like therapy a lot of the time is that it gives like predetermined like answers to whatever the person has to say, and so it just kind of sucks more money out of them without actually helping them. Um, and I just feel like a lot of people who could care don't, because there's a lot of issues in life could be solved by people actually caring and about each other. Because
Hmm.
remember, we do live on planet Earth. We are a family. We should look out for each other. Um, but I just feel like a lot of people now are just kind of selfish in that
Hmm.
regard. And I don't know, because I know people who have suffered with it, and it hasn't been healthy for them. Hasn't been good for them at all. Um, there's ways you can get through it, definitely. I mean, like video games is one way. As I said, I post fun facts on Twitter every so often. One of the fun facts was that video games have been proven to be better at battling depression than therapy, which has been proven. So there's ways of doing it, but the issue is that especially if it depends on what it comes from, like where your depression comes from, because it can come from pretty much anything, and that's why it's so hard to quantify. It's because it can come from like any different angles of who you are,
Exactly.
and what you've experienced. So it's just kind of like it really depends. Because if say it's like depression because you've lost someone, it's like grief doesn't isn't something that goes away. You can move on from it, but it doesn't go away. It's something that sticks with you because if it's say someone who was a big part of your life, having them suddenly gone, that's gonna change who you are and the way you live life. Like obviously you can move on from that, you can adapt to it, but it's still not gonna leave you because it'll still be with you.
Yeah.
Sorry if this is getting a bit dark.
No, 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 no. It's totally fine. Totally.
Um, what I will say though is just like because the thing is, pretty much everyone I've known has been depressed. Like this, look, this is an issue with me. Pretty much all my friends or like family members have been depressed at some point, for valid reasons. But I don't know. A lot of people nowadays suffer from it, and I do think it should be taken more seriously. But do take solace in the fact that you're probably not alone, and there are probably people out there going through similar things you're going through, and
Mhm.
that your feelings are 100% valid, and that you're not a terrible person. You're not bad because you feel depressed, but especially if it's something that is definitely would definitely be worthy of someone grieving over. But I don't know. It's hard to talk about because it's such a complicated issue. It's hard to talk about. Like we could spend an entire podcast talking about it because of the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. All I'd say is try and surround. If you're going for depression, obviously there's like suicide hotlines and all that. You can search those up and look for those. What I would say is try and surround yourself with those you care about most and things that you care about, and you'll probably be much happier. I don't know if it'll fix it, but you can always try, and there's no harm in trying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly.
what do you have to say about this?
All right. Where I'm trying to look for the rest of the questions. Can't seem to find on Twitter.
I think this is the
Um.
last one.
Okay. So, if you don't mind, just reading it out to me one last time, so I can kind of retrace my thoughts here.
It was serious one, depression at a young age. What do you think is the cause and how to help slash overcome slash live with it? Which once I just like to say that's also another thing I hate is how a lot of youths are going through depression nowadays, and I think it's really awful that they have to go through it at such a young age.
Yeah, exactly.
And once again, it isn't taken seriously because they think, oh, it's just a young kid, he's just sad or whatever. It's just like, oh, 11-year-olds, they can't suffer from depression. It's just like, no, it's a serious issue. Pay attention to it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically my thing,
For
is just pay
me,
attention to those who need it. Anyway,
mhm.
sorry for interrupting.
For me, I haven't been properly diagnosed or anything, so take this. But yeah, no, I definitely have some depression. There's no doubt about it. It just has, I haven't gone through the huge process of getting it fully figured out and diagnosed, but I've been told.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have, yeah, I really suffer with mood swings and just feeling like absolute shit or just feeling shitty or just being shitty. Um, and it's unfortunately inevitable. There's really nothing you can do about it, except for you know do the best you can. Whatever, like it's such a difficult thing to answer
Hmm.
because each person is their own separate thing, right? So
Yeah.
the issue itself is entirely unique on their own, but at the same time, we're all in this together. So
We're all in this
it's
together.
kind of like what you said. Depression can come from anywhere.
Yeah,
So really, people will have a lot in common, but depression does come from somewhere,
yeah,
and sometimes it's not always the same. And without getting into it hugely, I do some form of it, and it does get so bad to the point of where I just can't do the things that I was supposed to do that day. Like I'll plan out my entire day, and it very rarely it will get so bad to the point of where I just have to cancel all my plans because I just feel that bad. Um, and it doesn't help that I've been tested. I've been tested in school and stuff. I'm apparently have a very active mind. I have an IQ of 120, so it's it doesn't help because when you're depressed and you're really uh, have an active mind, you're not thinking of ways that you can feel better. You're thinking of ways to make you feel worse.
yeah,
So it your mind, like how my mind works is when I'm depressed, I'm trying to remind myself of things that make me happy,
yeah,
but when you're depressed, you're depressed. There's nothing you can do about it. So my mind is always calculating these scenarios in my head, things that I could have done better, my past, my present, my future. You know, how I'm gonna be unhappy from this, how this is gonna disappoint me, how I'm gonna disappoint myself, how I'm not gonna find the thing that I'm looking for, how I'm not gonna be the person who I want to be in X amount of time, the thing that I really want but I'm not gonna get. It's always working against me sometimes, but it's a gift and a blessing sometimes because depression can really really fuck you up, but it can really help you understand those who have it, and it has been a really fantastic tool in me helping others and others helping me because I can get to their level, and for the most part I know exactly what they're going through. I My Twitter is pretty happy and pretty chill and everything, but like there are days that I am just not okay. Like this
yeah,
isn't a cry for help. Like I am totally self-sufficient. I Whenever I'm not feeling good, I seek the help that I need, and I am not a danger to myself. I've been dealing with this for almost my entire life, so it is what it is. There are days that I am incredibly happy. There are days that I am incredibly depressed. There are days that I am incredibly mood swingy. I am all over the place. Like for like an hour, I'm so sad, and for another hour, I am, just frustrated with myself or my emotions or just anything. And this might be a bit, too personal, and it's kind of on topic of what we were mentioning earlier with sharing private stuff. But I am going to get some of these things checked out because it's good to know what you're dealing with.
yeah,
I'm not checking into any sort of mental institution or anything. I'm just going to clinics and getting it all figured out and sorted out. And if there is anything I can fix, then I'll fix it. I'm not going to be taking medication or anything. That's not something that I would ever want to do. But we all deal with something. We all have our hurdles. There are some people who are dealing with things in monumentally worse than anything I could have ever imagined.
yeah,
And I am genuinely so proud of them for dealing with the things that they deal with. Like, I, I go through my fair share of crap and I survive and I get through it. It sucks ass, but I still get through it. But there are some people out there that are just the things that they go through, the things that they've dealt with, and the things that they continue to deal with. I am so proud of them. And many of those people are people on my Twitter.
yeah,
So, if you're out there dealing with some shit, just, stay strong. Just do the best that you can. That's all anyone can ask for. There are people that are going to try to bring you down. There's things that are going to happen. You're going to feel like shit. Things are going to make you feel like shit. Things are going to come out of nowhere and just kick your ass. Be it yourself, your emotions, something physical, something mental, something emotional, something medical. Something's going to happen. Life has its ups and downs. And it's a roll of the dice every day, and sometimes it's in your favor and sometimes it's not, and all you can do is just your best. And sometimes you're not feeling that great, and sometimes you can't always do your best. And you know what? That's all anyone can ask for. Just do what you can in that time, and that's all anyone can ask for. And I'm very proud of all of you guys for doing the best that you can. And it's a lot. Like it is a lot to deal with. Like back in September, you know, when I was coming out, uh, that was fucking hard because I am very critical of myself. So when there's something that I don't know, I just completely destroy myself until I figure it out. Like I get so determined, and it's something that I couldn't wrap my head around for quite a while. So I was, you know, very mentally self-destructive, and you know, I wasn't doing anything to myself or anything bad, but I'm very hard on myself when I can't figure something out. So that's, you know, it was a hard time for me.
Hmm.
I just, you know, the best thing you can do with depression is really, it's up to each person, truly. I mean, for me, it's video games, spending time with friends, both online and offline. Constantly, um, keeping myself occupied, always having a goal, always setting a goal, always, you know, working on something new. I'm always rotating between voice work, 3D animation, modding video games, and you know, drawing or doodling or just tweeting even. I hang out with all kinds of different people, so I'm never doing the exact same thing. And that really helps. If you're like having a routine is nice because it gives a sense of security, and you know, you can trust with that routine, but occasionally spicing things up with something new, it's always good. It occupies your mind, keeps it busy, and you might learn something new about yourself. So that's always, you know, and it's always something to look forward to. So that really helps. Just doing nice things for people. Like, you know, I'm not a perfect being, but I occasionally do a nice thing, and that makes me feel really good. Even the smallest gestures really can go a long way for yourself or for that person. Um, you know, a lot of people say even the smallest little gesture, you know, spark another and spark another and spark another, and sometimes it might come back to you, or might help you make a friend. It might, you know,
Never do it for
do
self gain though, because
obviously never do it for self gain, and
because at that
never
point
do
it's
it for self
completely
gain.
missing the point.
But yeah, exactly. It's like what Vsauce's definition of a hero is, you know, don't do something for oh, I can't I'm misquoting this, but it's basically a hero is doing something out that goes out of your way that potentially puts you in danger without the expectation of and that's what's what I like about just doing something nice, because you could do something nice and they could fucking spit in your face. But if you do something nice, it makes you feel good because you've done something good regardless. And it makes others feel good. And me helping other people, me making people feel good makes me feel good. So I'm always trying to support people.
Yeah,
And I'm not perfect and I don't know what to do always. I don't know always how to help people, but there are some people that are close to me that you know, I'm always talking with them every day, making sure that they're okay. And I I'm making this sound like it's more self-centered, but what I'm saying is support other people because that helps them, and then they will support other people. And it's I'm making this sound like it's self-centered. I'm sorry. I need to reword one thing. It You need to spread the love is what I'm saying. You need to spread the love because if you give somebody some love, they'll give some love to somebody, and it might be you, might be somebody else, but regardless, the love is spreading, and that fights depression. It is a huge giving love, giving friendship, supporting people, just being nice. Being nice is nice. It is It makes other people feel nice. It makes yourself feel nice. It is a huge thing. I mean, it's just fantastic. So give it a shot. Even if it's the smallest little thing, just do it. And you might learn something new about yourself. You might make a new friend. There's really no downsides to being nice. Even if it's just the smallest, tiniest little thing. So that's a huge fighter of depression. But picking up a hobby, I didn't really 5 years ago, I didn't think I would be into cosplay really. I love the concept, and I was like, oh, if I could just buy a costume, that would be really fun. And I would wear it around. But now I'm like these last couple of months, I've been watching hours upon hours of tutorials on how to make like foam armor and stuff. And it's super cool. And I'm actually working on my with like completely by myself with power tools and um EVA foam and uh, like I'm doing it in my garage and I'm doing it completely from the ground up. This is the first time that I'm doing something completely from the ground up without any help from anybody else, without buying any materials or anything. And that is fantastic. Learning something new, challenging yourself without pushing yourself too much, keeping your mind occupied with new things, learning new things about yourself. That is um, a huge fighter of depression as well, and that really helps me. Um, so just stuff like that, just do the best you can, pick up some hobbies, make some new friends, do an act of kindness, care for yourself as well, do some self-care, do what you need to do to get by. Don't live your life making someone else happy until you can make yourself happy. Because if you're just supporting somebody and you're not supporting yourself, that's just not good for you. You need to look out for yourself as well. You need to love other people, but you need to love yourself. Um, and as somebody who struggled with loving myself for quite a while, it is a difficult thing to do, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of work. So if you can't do one of these things or any of these things right away, that's okay too. None of this comes instantly. None of this comes perfectly. None of this comes smoothly. So, and everybody has their own challenge. Everybody has their own issue. So if you're dealing with something or if you have an issue with something, that's okay because everybody has something that they struggle with. Even the most talented people on this planet still struggle with even some of the most basic things. So don't worry about it. Just do your best, and maybe you'll even overcome those issues that you have, and you'll become a better person. And then you can use that knowledge to teach others. So it's fantastic. It's just great. It's just love yourself and love other people, and just be the best person that you can be. And it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of time, and you'll get there. No matter what you do, you'll get there. And I'm very proud of all the people in my life that work hard, just in general. Like even if they're not dealing with anything, just the fact that they're working so hard to become a better person and everything. I'm just so proud of everybody. You guys are doing great. And I don't know, like just do the best you can. That's it. Like that's all I have to say. I'm trying to be wholesome, but I can't. I'm having trouble
Well,
thinking of words.
well, in that case, I have one way we can fix that.
Hmm.
I know we joke about him all the time, but I'm going to use him as a serious example here. Keanu Reeves.
Hmm.
Everyone knows he went through a lot of stuff, a lot of bad stuff. Stuff that I'd rather not get into because it's really horrible. Um,
Hmm.
and like despite all the terrible things that happened with him, he still pushed forward. And look at him now; he's one of the most successful actors of all time, and everyone loves him. And no, everyone can't wait until Cyberpunk releases. Um, and like he's a generous person because obviously that's one of the most well-known aspects of him. He's one of the most generous people ever, and it's just a kind of a case of like, despite everything he went through, I think there was a quote from him. He said it best. It's just like if you've been brutally hurt but still have the courage to be nice to other people, then you're a badass with the heart of an angel. And it's just like, yeah, that's entirely true. It's just like, you know,
Yeah.
he's been through stuff, but he's still been tender to people, and he's still doing the best he can, and it's just like if he can do it, so can you. Because remember, even though he is a Hollywood actor, at one point he was in the same situation you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like that he's a shining example. You can be, you know, you can go through hell, you can go through everything, and you can still become everything. Like, yeah, you can lose everything, and you can still gain so much.
Yeah.
And it's like, and even okay, right now, as somebody who's been through some terrible things, who has gone through losing loved ones, um, really rough breakups, friendship, losing friends, losing family, thinking that one of my best friends died, stuff like that, just terrible things. It, even if you're at your lowest of your low, that, like, when you hit rock bottom, like, a lot of people say this is a very common thing, but when you hit rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. And that is really true. As somebody who has been at rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. And once you're out, or even when you're a little bit out, you will learn so much about yourself and others. Always, if you can, always use what you learned to help others and make their experience better. If you have gone through something, you now have the tools to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to suffer how you suffered, because you've learned things from the pain you've been through, and now you can help people going through similar pain, so they don't have to go through what you went through.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's wow. There were some funny questions. This is getting into very serious territory.
Yeah.
I wish I had more time to think about these answers, because there's a lot that I can say about these sort of topics, but you know, we're all dealing with something, and you know, everybody's moving at their own pace. Everyone's dealing with their own issues. Everybody's got their own ups and downs. Everybody's very unique in their own way, but in one way or another, we are similar. And you just got to do what you can at that time, and that's all anyone can ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the questions.
Alrighty. Very serious stream, but I appreciate the questions genuinely.
Yeah.
I do any serious questions, I do try my best to take as seriously as possible.
Although next time, guys, I wouldn't mind if you asked more silly questions.
Anything will do. Yeah. I will happily answer any questions.
It could literally be like me, like asking me why Bayonetta is the best waifu, and I will go.
Why is Bayonetta the best waifu? Give me like I'm not memeing. I am genuine. I've first one. So I need you to sell me on this, as if you're some sort of salesman. Sell me on Bayonetta as a waifu of choice.
Right, so I'll say you on Bayonetta, okay? She's a very
Yeah.
charming woman. She has a very charismatic personality that just reigns through her in every aspect. And she doesn't take no shit from nobody. She doesn't let anybody tell her what to do. She's very independent. She's also extremely powerful. I mean, in the first Bayonetta game, she literally defeats God.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, she's charming. She's independent. She's powerful. She's also very sexy. Obviously, that's one of the most well-known aspects of Bayonetta. She's very sexy.
Fantastic. Okay.
What other things? Oh yeah, she has a very nice British accent.
Okay. Phew. Oh, treading on thin ice there. She has very nice British accent. Fantastic. Okay. That's good.
What other things I like about Bayonetta? Yeah, I just in general, I just love her as a person. I just think she'd be a
Okay.
nice person to hang around with if she was real. You know, it's funny because with the Bayonetta video, I actually did email Helena Taylor, who does the voice of Bayonetta, and asked her if she wanted to be in the video.
You fucking madman! You madman! Seriously, you're not kidding. You actually found. Oh my.
I didn't get a response from her. I
Are
don't.
you God?
No, I didn't get a response from her. But I still asked. I DM'd
It's
her on
amazing.
Twitter.
You dead ass. Oh my God, no way. Oh, seriously. No way. Wow. 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 Oh my God. I'm almost impressed. Like
Well,
that I would not have it in me to do.
I wasn't able to get her in the video. I never got a response.
That's fair though, but still, oh my gosh. Let's say theoretically, I'm having fun. Theoretically speaking, if theoretically speaking, if she agreed to be in the video, what would you have her do?
I would have her ask a couple questions I have about her performance in the game.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
just some funny
Wow.
questions. But also I'd ask her some questions about what she's working on.
Wow.
'Cause she's
That's
also a writer and she's currently working on a film
wow. Shit.
that she's planning to direct. It's a film about a war
Okay.
poet. I don't know anything about it yet. She just revealed it at like one of her conferences where she was doing a Q&A about the game Bayonetta.
Interesting.
But yeah, I honestly
Now,
she would make for a great podcast guest actually.
oh jeez. Hey, you know what? Voice actor for Bayonetta. I can't remember your name, but
Helena Taylor.
if you're listening to this, come on down. We'll make fools of ourselves, as I do. Yeah, we'll just go there. It'll
You know, this isn't
be a fun time.
this isn't new for me because when I was doing the Half-Life 2 video,
Oh yeah.
I also did send an email to Merle Dandridge, who does the voice for Alex Vance, asking if she wanted to be in the video. Um,
Oh, I was aware of this.
yeah. Um, I didn't get a response from that either. I think they're just very
Alright.
busy.
That's I would imagine so. Or like I'm sure some of them literally can't talk about work, right? Like because they might get in trouble.
Yeah, which I
Um,
always specify with that. It's just like I'm not going to ask about anything about Bayonetta 3. I said that in the email. I wasn't going to because I know that's very secretive. I mean, it's really annoying with Bayonetta 3 because it's been 2 years since pretty much any info on the game has come out.
well, for me, like I do voice work stuff for small projects, and I've been in some projects for fan games
Yeah,
that are currently in development, and they need a pitch team. And I'm not saying obviously like I'm only saying as much as I'm say, but there has been some things where they are like if you like they're not threatening. They're very kind and very totally respectable, and I totally respect where they're coming from because obviously they want to keep it on the down low. But there's like things where it's like if you leak this, like you're off the team. Like that's it. Like you're off the team. Like we're gonna have to kick you off. And some of these projects, the reason they do that is because they don't know if they're actually gonna release it or not. So if they were to release it, or if I were to release information and about this project, this video, this animation, this game, this project, whatever, and they don't actually end up making it, they would disappoint fans or viewers or anything. So yeah, there are some projects that I am currently that I am not allowed to talk about. Um, but some of them might not ever come out, and I'm really excited for some of these. Really fucking hoping they come out. Really fucking cool. But that's really all I can say. It's nothing. It's nothing. I'm not in some AAA title or anything. It's they're fan games or mods or things that have just started out that are in the concept art stage, and they're just looking for voices to kind of fill in for the pitch, so they can say, "Oh yeah, we got a few artists. Oh yeah, we got a few voice actors already. We got a few of these, few of that," and so we can start pitching the idea and then say that back it up with actual people and saying we do actually have staff. So different stages of development, but for the most part, I am just voicing in like animations and small YouTube channels and large YouTube channels, but I'm just doing small voice gigs every now and then. I'm not in anything too particularly big, and it has been a little while since I've been in a paid project. Um, But yeah, I really enjoy doing voice work. It's just very time consuming, and I can only do it in short intervals because a lot of the characters that I play are dragons, like dragons, uh, bad guys, aliens, robots. Because I have a very deep voice and I have a weird vocal range, so a lot of people like me doing the aliens or the monsters and stuff. So, um, but that really wears out my voice super quick. So like a large script of like 16 pages, I can only do like a couple of pages a day, um,
Yeah.
because my voice will just get completely thrown out. But I really enjoy what I do. But yeah, yeah,
It's funny you say that because we were just talking about like the voice of Bayonetta and then voice acting. Because I was reading about like her work in the game. Apparently,
yeah.
she got all of her lines done in 4 days.
Wow, holy shit. Yeah, no, I've heard stuff like that where I've heard for some like indie games they will have the voice actor come in after the animator did their work, which is a bad idea because
Yeah.
the animation is done already and then the voice actor has to match it, and their thought process was, "Oh, well, animation takes longer." So, the voice actor could just dub over it. And it's like, not well, unless if you want the animation to sync up really well with the voice. Uh,
Yeah.
and I mean, no disrespect to any animators or any stuff. Both sides do very hard work, and they deserve all the respect that they need. But yeah, I've seen some things where it's really been a disaster because I don't do it in the right way. And I mean, I believe SpongeBob actually. Funny thing, because I do a lot of research on voice work. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's SpongeBob. They do the animation first for some episodes, and then they have the voice actors come in and dub over it.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of shows tend to do that, but yeah.
It's interesting because speaking of like video games and voice acting, the amount of difficulty there is in voicing a character in a AAA video game is insane. Because if you read about some of the stuff that like the voice actors have to do, it's just crazy. Um, like
Mhm.
like one of the things I read is that in most like AAA video games, like the actors are only given the lines like 2 minutes before they then have to voice them.
Yeah, yeah. I've had to do the okay. My bane of my existence, like no, no disrespect to the people that I've worked because I love each and every one of you, fantastic. But one of the things that I don't like is doing live recording in front of the writers or the developers or anything.
Yeah.
It I get such bad. I don't get bad stage fright, but it's like I can't quite focus into my character when I know there's someone else listening. I need absolute silence. So when I'm doing it in front of like three other people in a Discord call, it's really difficult to do. Um, and like I said, absolutely no respect to the people that I've worked with. Like I know you guys just want to kind of coach me as I go, and I totally respect that and everything. But it's just hard for me to do sometimes. that's that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I find funny though?
Hmm?
Jen Taylor, the voice of Cortana, she didn't know who she voiced in the Halo series until Halo 3.
Yeah, yeah. Like even Chief,
Steve Downs,
when
yeah.
he voiced, yeah, Steve Downs, when he did Halo 1, he just didn't even know what it was. Like he was just kind of like, ah, whatever. It's just a space dude fighting space aliens, whatever. And then when he like they did an interview with him, he only knew just how popular he was when he came over to a friend's house
And
and saw the kids playing Halo and was like, I actually think I voiced a character in that game.
then like 40
And
minutes
was like,
later,
I,
like the
I think
entire neighborhood pulls up with Xboxes.
exactly, yeah. And then he didn't fully realize just how popular and was like watching the news and shit and was like, oh my god, yikes. um,
Yeah.
yeah, Steve Downs is a huge inspiration for my voice work. He's one of the main guys. But I mean, just about any popular voice actor really has been a huge inspiration one way or another for me. But Steve Downs is probably one of the biggest biggest ones for me.
Oh shit, I just realized something.
Yeah,
I plan on doing a video on Halo later this year.
yeah.
What if I was to get Steve Downes or Jen Taylor in it?
Oh God. Wow. Well, funny thing about Steve Downes, he actually opened up a I forgot what it's called, but it is a
Cameo.
website for yeah, Cameo. He recently opened up a Cameo. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's possible, but it would be different. It wouldn't be. It
maybe.
wouldn't be like I'm paying him to voice
It
stuff
would
though.
cost a lot of money though. It's like that would like I would happily pool some money in for that. Just
It depends because
give me a heads up beforehand so I can cash in some paychecks.
well no well no
So-
well no it depends because it's an actual interview because it's not like a cameo thing. I'm not. It's a different thing I'd be asking for.
exactly.
Since I'd be asking for an actual interview instead of a cameo thing, it would be different. I'm not sure how it would work out with him, but yeah, because like since I wouldn't be using the actual like cameo service thing, I wouldn't exactly have to pay him because it's an interview.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because unless I'm actually using the service, I don't have to do any finances.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure if you offer him that wouldn't hurt. And I like I said I would happily chip in a little
I'll just get Jen
that.
Taylor.
Jen Taylor, Jen, where are you? No I'm kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh
Yeah. Not promising anything, guys. Not promising.
yeah, obviously no promises, fellas, but
I'll just email them. I'll ask.
sure, go
Anyway,
for
this
it.
this is the longest podcast. This is coming up to 2.5 hours.
Long boy, long boy.
Long,
Well,
long.
not as long as my streams.
Well, what's your longest stream?
My longest stream, I'll pull it up right now. Oh my God. It was the one where I was like, um, which is a reoccurring joke now at my work, because the three other people that I stream with were coworkers,
Ah,
close friends of mine, but coworkers. So whenever I work with them, they threaten to play the audio from the stream in front of everybody.
oh no.
It's a reoccurring joke because I during one of them I got very drunk, very like it's probably the drunkest I've been in quite a while. To the point of where I said, and I quote, "I'm going to cry" on stream because I was so drunk and I saw one of the characters from the game, which is the Slayer, which I've made a bunch of jokes on my Twitter about being my waifu. You know how that is.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've seen some posts.
Hmm.
I dead ass almost cried on stream because I was that drunk and I was just feeling so many emotions because it was a secret event where she popped up in the game and I almost cried on stream because I was just so like just feeling so many emotions. I was when you're drunk you're stupid obviously, so yeah, I almost cried on stream. And it's a reoccurring joke with close friends of mine and close coworkers and close friend coworkers and close friends and all that jazz. That me crying on stream is a joke, a reoccurring joke.
Anyway, how long is that stream?
Oh yeah, sorry, I totally got off on a tangent. It is 4 hours and 50 minutes, almost 5 hours long. For people that are watching this podcast and is wondering when I say I'm going to cry, skip to 3 hours and 5 minutes, roughly. Yeah,
All right.
3 hours and 5 minutes into the stream. It is titled Monster Prom Drunk Stream. Go 3 hours and 5 minutes in, and I believe you will hear me shouting, and then saying, and I quote, "I am going to cry." So
Yeah.
there's that.
You know what's
It is me being very drunk.
you know what's funny though? I
But yeah.
used to do live streams, but they were really crappy, so I've stopped doing them. But I did a live stream of Half-Life 2, and it was me playing the entire game for 9 hours.
Jeez.
It's a 9 hour stream. I still have it on YouTube. It's just me playing the entire game
Oh my
because
goodness.
I'm an
That's
idiot.
I could not do that, I don't think. Unless if it was for like charity. Speaking of like doing like a charity stream, like raising money. But I don't know. A, I don't know what for. B, I don't really know how I would go about setting that up. And C, the only charities like I thought of a few charities and some of them I want to do, but I just don't know how I go about doing it. Would I do it on YouTube? Would I do it on Twitch? Like there's just so many factors in play that I just don't know how I would go about doing it. But I do at some point in my in my fleeting life that I want to do a stream, a donation stream where I, play a game, raise some funds, and if we reach a certain amount of money, maybe do something on stream, just to reward the donators, or I don't know. But I need to figure out a system before I get to it. But I think it would be a really cute thing for me to do.
All right.
So, yeah.
Anyway, it's now 1 o'clock in the morning.
I am so sorry. I've not been keeping track of time.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I don't sleep anyway.
Please forgive.
I'm a
No!
I'm a skeleton. Remember? I'm a skeleton
true.
in a trench coat.
Skeleton.
What?
Amazing. Outstanding.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is time to end it. So, thank you to the 5 people that stuck around for this. Yeah. This was incredibly long. Thank you for joining us. And I don't know when my next video will be out. Probably sometime either later this month or next month. But in the meantime, go and follow Henry, because he probably has some stuff going on that's more interesting than whatever I'm doing.
No.
So
No.
go check that out. And yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Right. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end the podcast. I'm gonna watch some anime, and then I'm going to bed.
Okay, I see your priorities are in check.
Well,
clearly.
I need to watch the final episode of Kinyoro Mosaic.
Oh my goodness, I've been getting it, but we'll save that for the next podcast.
Yeah, hopefully Baggy can get on next time. He wasn't able to get on this time because he was busy.
Oh, dude, can we please do Waifu Wednesday? Waifu.
We need to do it one of these days.
Oh, for God's sake, Waifu Wednesday podcast.
All right, so
I would be mostly joking.
All right,
anyway.
So what next podcast? We're gonna do it on a Wednesday. We're gonna get Baggy on, and then we're gonna get Gordon Zora on because Gordon Zora wanted to join the Waifu Wars.
Oh yes.
So we'll get all 4 of us on, and then we'll have an argument. It'll just be 2 hours. Oh shit! It'll just be 2 hours of us arguing about who's the best waifu.
Well, if it's any surprise from Ravi, the Slayer from Monster Prom, is my current waifu. It's a joke because I got drunk and thought she was cute, so now I'm like kind of forcing them in. But at the same time, she is kind of adorable. But it's like, it was because I was drunk on stream and thought she was adorable. But
well,
yeah,
Bayonetta has been my fictional crush since 2010, so for 10 years.
Wow, that is dedication. I have nothing but respect.
Yeah. You know what's funny though, because Baggy recently abandoned his waifu of Cortana for
Oh God.
for Luna from Hell of a Boss.
I know a lot of that.
Yeah, he asked me to draw her.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, don't you worry. I read your guys'. I read all of.
Yeah.
I take the time out of my day to make sure your voices are heard.
Yeah, I want to die after making that. Yeah. He said he had a deal where it was just like, if you draw Luna, I'll play Bayonetta. So he's playing Bayonetta now.
Oh, okay.
I think he's enjoying it so far. He said he's DM'd me saying, "I can see why this is your waifu."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll take that.
Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go watch some anime, and I'm gonna go to bed.
All right.
And I'm gonna wake up.
You enjoy that anime?
Yeah, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna play some more Devil May Cry, because why not? And then I'm gonna go watch some more Keanu Reeves films.
Sounds like a plan.
Anyway, thank you for joining me, Henry.
Yeah, no worries. It's always a pleasure being here and answering everybody's wacky and serious questions. It's always a blast. I love it.